Why do aliens even matter? What's the whole big deal about it? It's kind of like, okay, Miles, I get it. Aliens exist. Now what? Okay, what next? Like, what's the big idea here? Well, the thing with aliens is they're the missing link to everything. Everything that feels like a piece of the truth. It's like, okay, that's a piece of the truth right there. That's a piece of the truth right there. And it's just jumbled up, mixed in with lies. All that stuff all starts to make sense and come together once you allow your brain to accept that extra dimensional beings exist, most likely, and they've affected us in good and bad ways on this planet. And when you start to view yourself as a citizen of Earth instead of just a citizen of the United States or one's respective country, your mind starts to open because it's like you start to live from the big picture more. For example, there's things people have experienced in life where they feel like they're experiencing God, so to speak, starts to all start to click together. Like Jesus and magical births. Imagine if you're, I don't know, a person of the time of Jesus' birth, and you see, oh, I'm pregnant now. You're gonna believe it's some miraculous thing. And even, here's the thing about it, even though it didn't just magically appear in her body, no other way, it's still awesome. It's still magical. It is magical for us. I won't take that away from that. But it's kind of like, okay, artificial insemination, human mixed with alien DNA, and he had these abilities. Look, everybody has an origin story. I mean, what if the origin story is just not what they told us? And let's say that's not true, but I think people, when you start to just be able to open your mind to the possibility that that can be true, it really starts to shift you in a way, and you become more dangerous to the system, because it's like you're outside the box, or you're not afraid to go against what they told you. And because here's the thing, here's the reason why people are so against that story of Jesus that I just told. It's like, oh, I'm not going to hell, I'm not a blasphemer, blasphemy, whatever they be saying. I'm not a blasphemer. And even that word, that just shows you somewhere everything's made up. Blasphemer, who came up with that word? I don't know. But you get what I'm trying to say. That idea of fear of going to hell really keeps you experiencing life a certain way, in my opinion. In my opinion. Now maybe that's good for common criminals and stuff like that, people who are going to do bad stuff and have no self-control. That maybe the fear of hell keeps them in line. I think that's great for our society on a whole. But imagine if you lived life without fear of going to hell. That's what the belief in aliens has brought me. That's one of the things. That's just an example. And it's not like a belief. It's not a belief. It's more like the feeling of knowing and understanding. I'm not like, oh, I believe in this and I'm praying to this. Just like I tell people, I believe in Jesus. Well, I believe Jesus is real and I respect him and I admire him. It's not just, oh, I believe in Jesus and I worship and I serve. I bow to my knees and serve him. It's not that. It's more like, that's my bro. Like, I respect him. I want to be like him. He's awesome. He's cool. Like, I view him like not any other celebrity, but he has a reputation. If he walked on earth, then I could view him that way. And he is from God. But we all are. And that's one of the things. We all are. You know? And who knows fully what message he was trying to spread. It's been years. Anyways, religion. That's one of the things that instantly starts to be, I guess you could say, dismantled. It all starts to, when we get that real disclosure, not these little UFOs, not these little germs and stuff. When we get that real disclosure where it's like, oh, they have governments and they're a whole species, and then there's another species over there. They have their own governments and stuff like that. Sometimes they work together. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes there are the bad guys, which are ruling our planet. Here and in other places. You know? That's when it really starts to open your mind to the Earth citizen concept. Because we're one race amongst different races of beings, not just one race amongst white and black and Asian. It's not just that. That's what we're still dealing with that. This is why we have to go through our own development. We're on a certain level, and our species is beginning to move to another level. The understanding of higher dimensional beings helps make that process smoother. Yeah, this is good. I'm pretty up there. I'm pretty elevated. And then there's the people who live in the, well, prove it. It's not real. And I get that too. It's not really in our sphere yet. It never makes sense to me. And I keep going back to religion because people will believe these certain stories they hear, but they don't want to believe in anything. Like these certain stories they hear in the Bible, yet they don't want to, not even just believe, but leave room for a possibility that the world is magical. Like there's magical stuff going on. Under the water, in space and time, here on Earth, in the center of the Earth, surface of the Earth, the dark side of the moon, the inside of the moon, the hollow moon. It pulls the rug from under a lot of people. It really, really freaks people out, and I get it. Because we're still living in this world. We still have taxes to pay. We still have bills. But no one's saying you gotta freaking change anything. It's just the understanding. It really changes your perspective. I always tell people, yeah, I believe in Jesus in the sense that, yeah, he was real. When they ask me, they're like, oh, do you believe in Jesus? Do you have Jesus as your Lord and Savior? I say, no. I say, I believe Jesus was real. And I don't have him as my Lord and Savior. I respect him as a great teacher and somebody to look up to. And when they hear that, it's almost like they can't comprehend. It's like, Miles, why are you saying that? But you're saying that. It doesn't. Yeah, it's because I apply Jesus in a practical sense in my life. Not just like, oh, he's so above me. He's so better than me. He knows everything and he walks on water. He's just the best. Like all this, all that. That's not me. I respect him in a practical sense as a great teacher and leader. I respect him. Should I even love him, I guess? And I think that's what he would want, in my opinion. In my opinion. Look, what did Tywin Lannister say? No true king has to announce he's the king. And I think Jesus is a true king. And the God he comes from, though I don't visualize him as a physical body, because of my understanding of aliens, I envision God as a basically energy source, a central sun. That's the best I could come up with. And sure, we can give him a masculine presence, but God is everything. Since I don't visualize him like that, what I'm saying is, however you visualize God, say he is a man in the sky, I don't think he would be announcing, like, this is what you need to do. These are just some things that my understanding of extra-dimensional beings have brought me. Now, some people go crazy when they understand this. I get it, because I have too little. But I think it makes life so much better. Like, it just made everything started to make sense. All the individual religious stories I was hearing, they all started to go together. It all was becoming clear. Even what also became clear is the structure of the system we're in. This is a freaking, we are slaves to reptilian beings. It is what it is. A lot of people talk about the president. A lot of people talk about this one and that one. Epstein and all of these people. And they are part of it. Don't get me wrong. And like I say, everything is layered. There's layers to things. However, at the end of the day, and there's people for that. There's people who go to the lower layers or the other layers. But at the end of the day, and we need those people, but at the end of the day, at the very tippy top of it, is a higher dimensional being, a step higher, a little bit higher. They're pretty shit compared to us. Extra-dimensional beings, or what we would consider aliens, reptilians, on the tippy top. And some might, because you really gotta ask yourself, why is this happening? Why is it always seem like if it's not one thing, it's another? That is part of life. But I'm just talking about on a global scale, not your individual life, but in a big picture sense. You know those calendars they show on social media where every month something big is happening? It's to bring us down, to lower our vibration. Because they feed off low vibration. These people are beyond money. They're beyond religion. Well, I don't know about that because I don't know their belief systems. But in the sense where, like, you're going to hell. Trust me, they're not worried about that. They're not just after, well, they are, I guess, after power. That's still true. It's not like you escape these things when you become an alien, but they're beyond money. They're after, they feed on low vibration. And we're getting up there in our vibration. So they gotta really dull us down. And these are some of the things that are just important in understanding the existence, potentially, our level with you, potentially, of extra-dimensional beings. Extraterrestrial beings. Same shit, kind of. But, yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. I respect your opinions. I won't be too long, but I'll be back. Try not to be too long-winded on these. But I have a lot to say. I was like, what am I going to talk about today? Of course, I got to bring up why understanding aliens exist is important. However, it's not to escape from this world and this reality. It all kind of starts to blend together, but we do have other problems that are important. I don't want to belittle any other political issue. That's not what I'm trying to go after. We can understand extra dimensional beings exist and then work on the ground level till it's time for all of us to rise together energetically. Anyways, y'all, much love.